It's good, y'all. It's M's Limitless. Got the close up for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm just in a recording mood. I don't really know what this is about, but I think I just want to be a motivational speaker right now. Y'all hear it? It must be a sign. Um, give yourself grace. You feel me? A long time ago, when I was wanting to do YouTube, I just kept feeling like if I was to hop on YouTube, what would I talk about? And then a voice came in my head. You call it a voice, you could call it God. We're gonna say it was God, but God said the way you talk to the people is to talk to yourself. So anything I say to y'all is not nothing that I'm not. I'm practicing what I'm preaching. Basically, what I'm saying. That's basically what I'm saying. I'm practicing what I'm preaching. And so I just want to let y'all know that in this life, like, we want a lot of things. We want to be certain things, certain someones. We want to fulfill that potential that we see in ourselves, you know? But a lot of times in life we deal with a lot of chitter chatter from other people. And I want you to know that what God has for you, He has in His own time. We can't just jump to having what we want, being who we want. We gotta really be patient with ourselves and become the person that we need to become in order to have those things. Like, and I know like people say this a lot, and sometimes it could be mumbo jumbo, but it's really not. It really does make sense when you think about it. Like, but I'm not gonna go too deep in that topic itself. I'm mainly I'm mainly here to say be patient with yourself. Have grace for yourself. No matter what your life looks like, no matter what anybody else has to say, it takes being patient with yourself in order for those things to come. Oftentimes, like in my life, right, I do a lot of things that a lot of people are not doing. You know, I'm working on my mental, I work on my body, I work on my crafts, and I'm just trailblazing a lot of different areas that I never seen nobody take seriously, or if I did see him take it seriously from what I thought was serious, when I actually started to do it myself and reap the benefits from doing those certain things, I learned that a lot of people only do certain things just to be able to say that they did it. They're not really actually learning anything from the things that they're doing. They're just doing it because it seems like a good accolade to have underneath their belt, right? And so stop listening to people chattering around you. It's a season for everything. It's a time and place for everything, right? And that time might not be for you right now. God might have you doing a certain other thing right now. He might need you resting right now. He might need you sleeping so he could talk to you better right now. And that's one thing I had to learn. Like I had to learn to not feel bad for resting, you know? Especially as a man. Like the most popular narrative right now for being a man is to basically kill yourself as fast as possible, but in a slow manner, in a slow motion manner. Which you still got to do what you got to do as a man. You still got to provide. You still got to make money. You still got to do all these things. But there's much more to being a man than just doing those things. There's much more important things to manhood and womanhood than just creating a lane for yourself in this world. And I mean that in a sense that's not as black and white as I just said it. Like, don't get me wrong, you still got to do what you need to do to survive. A man that don't work don't eat. Same thing for a woman. There's people out here they gonna mooch off somebody else, get somebody else to do the work for them. But I don't think that God made us to live the way that we live. We live in a world that's very much materialistic, and a lot of people believe that materialism is the most important thing. It's just like materialism is like their end all be all top priority. And a person like me, nigga like me, like I can't help but to see that shit as just distractions. I can't help but to see a lot of methods in place of the world to simply distract us from knowing who we are. I don't want to be the man that's 45, 50, and all of a sudden that whole midlife crisis shit, I just come to a place to where, damn, who am I? What am I supposed to be here doing? I don't want to be that. And if you're seeing this, I don't think you want to be that either. I grew up. I'm a high school dropout, but I feel like I'm one of the smartest people I know. Not that I like that. I like being around people that's smarter than me. But I dropped out of high school and I was nowhere near dumb. I just never felt like they had any real things to offer me because it was like it felt like a waste of time. But like, I hit honor roll a couple times just to make my parents happy and stuff like that, make them feel like they're not failures as parents. So I was being a good boy, but school never really stimulated me. I just always felt like school was a distraction in itself. So I quit it. But I say that to say I'm a trailblazer. You feel me? And it took a long time for me to actually admit that to myself in my own life. But the facts is the facts. With that being said, it's like you gotta determine what's important for your own life. You gotta determine what you think. Not even determine, but you gotta discover what your purpose is. The things that's the things that make you special and the things you've been through has something to do with your purpose and why you're here. Like I went through a lot as a kid, and because I did go through a lot as a kid, it made me grow up fast as a kid. I'm talking about before even the age of 5. I stopped thinking like a kid, and it was like, long story short, I could talk to 80-year-olds and they constantly ask me how old I am, and they're surprised that I'm still only in my mid 20s. But that's simply because, like, I am the oldest of my siblings, immediate siblings at least. I got more siblings in Jersey, which I'm like the third oldest, but my, excuse me, the majority of my life I've been the oldest. You feel me? So it's like, and I had younger siblings that I had to look out afterwards. So, like, I'm not gonna speak on exactly all the things I've witnessed and been through, but from an early age, I understood that I was just a boy, and I understood being just a boy that with a lot of things that was happening, I was defenseless, which is why when I got older, it's kind of like I dimmed the things that made me special. It's like I dimmed them down on purpose because I've always had a light, like a moth to a flame, and people try to destroy it, but it's like I understood early that I had to pretend until I was old enough to really defend myself and really become a man fit in all categories to be able to stand for what's right. Maybe that's how God had it on purpose. Maybe He had, not maybe, but I'm sure He had me go through all of those things and see all of those things and see all the things that I thought was wrong and right as a child to be able to do it differently when I became a man. Because me being a leader has been something I was born with, even when I didn't want to be a leader. I always was. Because I wasn't a follower. So it's like, at some point, you got to fall into a category depending on your characteristics. And so it was just like, I had to grow up before my time. Maybe use something like that. But being that I did, it was kind of like I never got to be a child. So it's like the smarter I get, the stronger I get physically, the stronger I get mentally, physically, and spiritually. It's like now I'm being allowed to be a child. And it almost got me like even aging in reverse too. It's so weird. But I don't even know what I was talking about. I lost it. So I was just yapping just now. But oh yeah, that's what I was talking about originally. Nobody knows what you have panned out for your life. They can only see your potential. They can only see you as somebody that could do something. It's important for you to not let nobody cast their own doubts and projections onto you. You feel me? Especially when you're somebody that's not ordinary and you doing things that people don't consider to be cool, but you taking the stance of learning and doing certain things that are important to you. That's what I was talking about. Especially with me not being fond of school. You gotta really be able to listen to that whisper in your head and not allow people to leak so much of their own noise into your booth. You feel me? You gotta be able to follow your own heart. You gotta be able to follow your own path that God has for you. If you are to become what you think you are worthy of becoming, not even worthy of becoming, but what you want to be, what you see yourself being in this lifetime. The one thing I think to myself, I won't say every day, but at least almost every week is whether I do, nah, I'm not even gonna say it like that. I'm not even gonna say that at all. But basically, before I go, if I don't do anything, I'm gonna make this world feel me. The world ain't gotta know me, the world ain't gotta understand me. I just need the world to feel me and feel where I was coming from, feel my perspective. I feel like I have a perspective that is God's perspective, you know? And oftentimes I come across people, I'm handsome, I'm smart, I got a good head on my shoulders, but I ain't always been like this, you feel me? And oftentimes I come across a lot of people who I wouldn't necessarily say that everybody becomes envious, but I would say that a lot of people take the stance of looking at me sometimes from a position of what they would do if they was me. So a lot of people, if they was me, they'll be running through every female possible, exploiting everything possible. But I know that's not what God has given me my gifts for. That's not what God has made me for. Like, don't get me wrong, like, pleasure is cool every once in a while, like, and I'm really watering that down just only because I'm in a different mind space now, but women is cool, doing what everybody else does is cool, but every time I've tried to do what everybody else does, like, I always found myself in the spot of, that's it, like, what's next? Like, you feel me? So, whether it be women, drugs, I know alcohol, I done been drunk to the point where I was just like, why do people, I'm talking about like tore up drunk, like, I'll be like, I don't know how people do this shit like every day. I'm primarily a smoker, something I'm trying to stop doing or really limit doing. And even with that, it's like, what's the point of being high? You feel me? With women, I done had a poquito whole phase. I wouldn't say my whole phase was nothing like a lot of other people's, simply because like things just dawn on me quick. So after a few times, a quadruple amount of times, I'm just like, what's the point of me trying to crack these women? Like, what's the point of this? Like, and then when you think about it, it's like, I done been in love and I done navigated the waters of love. And it's like, being that I'm not in love with nobody right now but myself, of course, my seeds, and God, those things don't even hit the same if you're not deep in emotion with it. You feel me? Like it's like you start to realize that once you do certain things yourself, it's like you start to realize that people only do certain things to not feel empty. But they all just fall in the same category of you just trying to distract yourself from what you really need to do. You feel me? It's a lot of beautiful women in the world, but that don't mean you need to have sex with all of them. Like, and then it's like, if you are, like, kudos to you. I ain't judging you. It's your life, but it's like after you bust a nut, like that's it. Like it's just way more important shit than pussy, than drugs, than getting drunk, trying a new drug. Like to me at least, it's just way more important tasks at hand. Way more better stuff that I could be doing. Like I just like learning new stuff. Like, mm, that's just me though. But I'm yapping at this point. Moral of the story is do what you gotta do to get where you wanna be. But if you're not where you wanna be, give yourself grace, man. It's really the journey. I know we want the money, we want the cars, we want the clothes, we want the stability, but it's really the journey. It's really who you become on the way to getting those things. Because once you got them, it's to me at least. Well, even I'm a victim of this own self torturing way of thinking. It's like once you get those things that you wanted, you're just gonna say to yourself, "What's next?" So just take your time to appreciate the journey. Take your time to appreciate the becoming of who you are, the becoming of who you are intended to be. You feel me? That's what it's really about. All the At the end of the day, all the money, cars, and the clothes, and the hoes, the men, the women, that shit not gonna really make you happy. What's gonna make you happy is being fulfilled in here. Because all that stuff is just outward fulfillment and instant gratification. Go work on something. That's gonna take a while. You feel me? All of this is all of this is suffering. You gotta know how to suffer well. And suffering well is do something that you don't gotta be like me. I like being different. Try try doing something that nobody else is doing. Try doing something that's just cool to you. Uh, be different. Stand out a little bit. Take up space. Fuck it. Excuse my language, God. Yeah. This M's Limitless. Another TED Talk. Another Yap session. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But most of all, remember that if nobody love you, I love you. And even if I don't love you, make sure you're doing what you need to do to love yourself. Because other than God, ain't nobody. And I mean nobody. Not your mother, your brother, your father, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, your grandma, your grandfather, your godfather, your godmother, Nobody's gonna love you the way that you could love you. That being said, I'm out. Like, comment, and subscribe. We out this motherfucker. Peace.